Beneath a single great roof in the hills of South Dakota lies a pit full of giants. Scattered across the tan earth are the tusks and bones of dozens of mammoths, resting exactly where they fell tens of thousands of years ago. This is no ordinary museum with bones behind glass, but an Ice Age death trap open to the light, one of the richest graveyards of mammoths ever found, preserved in the very ground that caught them. Welcome to the Mammoth Site. We are on the edge of the town of Hot Springs, in the southern Black Hills of South Dakota. Here the pine-covered hills roll down toward the open plains, and warm mineral springs rise from the ground, giving the town its name. On a low rise at the edge of town, an unassuming building holds one of the most remarkable Ice Age sites in the world, hidden until only a few decades ago beneath an ordinary-looking hill. Inside this building, under one high roof, lies one of the most astonishing sights in the country. Reaching across the floor of a broad pit are dozens of fossil bones and long curving tusks, half freed from the tan earth that has held them for tens of thousands of years. Nothing here has been carried off to a shelf or a case. Every bone rests exactly where it came to lie in the Ice Age, and the building was raised around the dig so that the graveyard could be seen just as it was found. The site sits at the edge of the town of Hot Springs, in the rolling southern reaches of the Black Hills of South Dakota. These ancient hills of pine and pale stone rise out of the surrounding plains, and warm mineral springs give the town both its name and its long history as a gathering place. It is fitting country for such a discovery, a land shaped by water and stone, where the ground itself seems to remember a far older world. Tens of thousands of years ago, during the last Ice Age, this was not a hill of bone but a pond. A warm spring welled up here and filled a steep-sided sinkhole, a deep basin dissolved out of the rock below. The heat of the spring kept the water open and inviting even in the depths of winter, and green plants grew along its rim. To the animals of the cold plains around it, this warm pool would have looked like a gift. But the gift was a trap. The walls of the sinkhole were slick with wet clay and shale, and they dropped away at a steep angle beneath the surface. An animal that ventured in to drink or to feed on the plants along the edge could lose its footing and slide down into the pond, and once in the water it could find no purchase to climb back out. Worn down and unable to escape the slippery bowl, it would sink beneath the surface, and the pond would slowly claim it. Over the centuries, the pond swallowed dozens of mammoths, and their remains make this one of the greatest single concentrations of mammoth bone in the world. Two kinds lie here together. Most are the towering Columbian mammoth, a giant of the warmer southern plains, and among them rest a few woolly mammoths, the shaggy cold-weather cousins better known from the far north. To find the two side by side, caught in the same ancient trap, is a rare and precious thing. And the bones tell an even stranger story. Nearly all of the trapped mammoths were young males, animals in the prime of their strength. In the wild today, it is the young bulls, newly driven off on their own and full of boldness, who take the greatest risks. It seems the same was true in the Ice Age. Drawn by the warm water and the green plants, the reckless young males ventured in where wiser elders held back, and it was they who paid the price. The mammoths were not alone. Sealed in the same earth are the remains of a whole Ice Age menagerie. Among them is the giant short-faced bear, a fearsome long-legged predator far larger than the grizzlies of today, along with ancient camels that once roamed North America, wolves, and smaller creatures besides. Each one adds a line to the story, and together they open a window onto an entire lost world that gathered around this warm and deadly pool. For all those thousands of years, the graveyard lay hidden, until one summer in 1974. The land was being cleared and leveled for new houses when the blade of an earth mover turned up something strange, the gleam of an enormous tusk in the pale soil. Work stopped, and experts were called in. What had looked like an ordinary hill at the edge of town was revealed to be a sinkhole packed with the bones of the Ice Age, waiting just below the surface. At that moment, a choice had to be made. The bones could have been dug out, boxed up, and carried away to distant museums, as had so often been done before. Instead, the decision was made to leave them exactly where they lay and to raise a shelter over the whole dig. That single choice is what makes this place so extraordinary. Here you do not see bones behind glass in a far-off city, but the death trap itself, open to the light with its victims still in place. Working in place lets the scientists read the pond like a book. The exact position of every bone, the layers of clay that buried it, and the way one animal lies above another all record the slow filling of the sinkhole over the centuries. Fine brushes and small tools free each fossil grain by grain, and its place is carefully mapped before it is ever lifted. In this patient reading of the earth, the story of the trap is pieced back together, one bone at a time. From these bones, a whole vanished world rises again. In the mind's eye, the pit fills once more with warm water under a wide Ice Age sky, and great herds move across the cold grasslands of the southern Black Hills. Mammoths gather at the steaming pool to drink, their breath clouding the winter air, while camels graze the green margins and the giant bear watches from the slopes. The pond that was a grave becomes, for a moment, a living, watering hole again. And the story is far from finished. This is still a working excavation, and the pond has not yet given up all it holds. Season after season, the digging goes on, and new tusks and bones continue to emerge from the deep tan earth, each one adding to the count and to the knowledge. Around the open pit, the site has grown into a museum and a place of learning, where the ancient dead teach the living about the world that was. There are few places on Earth quite like this. A warm spring, a hidden trap, and the patient work of time have left behind a single frozen moment of the Ice Age. Dozens of mighty animals gathered forever in the bowl that took them. To stand at the rail above the pit is to look straight down into deep time, at a graveyard, a mystery, and a wonder, all preserved exactly where it came to rest. A warm pond that became a trap, a valley of giants sleeping in tan earth, and a lost world read from its bones. Thank you for watching. Follow for more interesting people, places, and things we cover on the channel.